We're at the Cannes Boat Show and we've got the opportunity to test the first open Axopar 45. This is the Suntop. We haven't got a huge amount of time. We're going to go over the islands, I'm going to show you what it's like on deck, and then of course I'm going to tell you what it's like to drive. There's no time to waste, so let's get going. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Before we get her up to speed though, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Right then, on deck, and luckily we've got perfect conditions to demonstrate why you might want this version of the boat. Back here it's exactly the same as the 45 cross cabin. The 45 is only available with triple Mercury 300s. You can move across behind them here, there's enough space to get between the cabin and the radar arch to get from side to side. You can change the arrangement back here. If you don't want the aft cabin, you can have U-shaped seating here with a dinette, but the cabin does obviously give you that extra flexibility of the sleeping space. It also gives you this massive sun pad just where you want it, right here at the back of the boat. Some details back here. Over on that side there's fender storage, and there's also a deck shower for when you come out of the water. On this side, although you have the main wet bar which sort of comes across from the cross cabin version over there, you have another wet bar down here where you've got a grill and a sink and a fridge. So that's really handily located right at the back of the boat. It means all the smells are going away from the boat when you're cooking. Full walk around decks, of course, as you'd expect from Axopar. And then we come to these terraces, which maybe were a bit hard to get your head around in the cross cabin version, but I think they really come to life in this open version. They drop down, it's all manual, and they just give you another perch basically. So if people are sitting here having lunch, you can sit here as well enjoying the party. You can swing round and sit with your legs dangling over the water. They really do add to it in this, guys. And then of course you have this fantastic central eating area, the big table that opens up to double in size. And on this, the Suntop, you've got the split sunroof as well. So you've got fabric sunroof forward, fabric sunroof aft. So if you want shade for lunch, but you want to have the sun on the helm, you can mix it around. It's not all one big roof. And there is also a cross-top version, which basically gives you the connected area forward that you get from the cross cabin here. So you get the windscreen meeting the top of the hardtop, so it's fully enclosed, but it's open at the back. On this Suntop version, it's all much more open, and actually in these conditions, it's absolutely lovely. Central wet bar here, like you have on the cross cabin. It doesn't slide on this one like it does on that boat, so it's fixed, but you have got a bit more cooling space down here and a nice big sink, and they've cushioned this as well, so it acts as a bit of a leaning post when you're moving along. Obviously you've got these really nice 3 forward-facing helm seats, but you can have a couple of people leaning behind and still getting that protection from the windscreen. There's some storage down here under the helm as well. The last thing to mention about this area is that you can fully enclose it as well. So if you do want to weatherproof it, if you're using it in inclement conditions, obviously on the cross cabin it's all completely solid and very easy, but here you can put covers in manually to enclose this area if you want to. We'll come back to the helm when we drive the thing. Moving forward, we've got the gull wing doors, which we're so used to now. You know, we first saw these on the 37, but they work equally well here on the 45. They both come up, so you get really good access on both sides into the cabin. They also give you some natural light and some ventilation down there as well. And then you just have this nice chill out zone up here. When they're down, you get a bit of sun pad there, and you've got this sort of elongated bench here with the built-in cup holders. And actually I should mention the deck. This is really nice sort of grippy rubberized deck surface. It's a warm day, it's not getting too hot, it's really grippy, it dries quickly, looks smart. It's really, really good stuff. And then forward here you've got a bit of storage, and of course your anchor locker with this little perch here as well, so people can sit opposite, or you can sit with your feet up if you're sitting on this bench. Let's have a look inside, shall we? This space is identical to the 45 cross cabin, which means you get the seating area down here, headroom. Well, if I stand, you know, I'm 6 foot tall, and as you can see, I can't quite stand up here. Further aft I can, but you know, obviously this is a seating area. The other thing you have is sort of a sofa arrangement, but then you can just pull this forward, and that's how you make the bed. It's a relatively basic setup, but actually, you know, for the odd night aboard, it would be perfectly comfortable. And crucially, you have a pretty decent separate bathroom here. It's a wet room, really, because you can shower in there, but that's the most important thing. For something that's going to be used as a big day boat, decent bathroom, but yeah, overnights on here, relatively comfortable. And as I said, you've got the gull wing doors, so you get a nice bit of breeze and loads of light. With the cushions off, you also get light through the glass as well. So nice and bright down here, just not especially luxurious. Let's head to the aft cabin. The aft cabin is in the same position as it is on the cross cabin. It's just that you access it through here. Up comes this hatch. That powers up quite nicely actually and gives you a really good access point, so you can quite easily come down into this cabin through a shallow run of steps and take a seat inside. It's exactly the same as the cross cabin. It's actually not too bad. Obviously there's no standing room in here, but you know, there's a decent amount of space to lie up. They've got these cushions up here to give you a bit of a backrest, and you have got a lovely amount of natural light because you've got 2 hatches overhead, plus this lovely aft window so you can gaze out over your Mercury outboards, and you've still got the, well, this is storage quite sensibly. You can have a toilet in there, which I can see why they've done it, so you don't have to get out and use the toilet forward, but yeah, it's a bit small for that sort of thing. Storage, much better option in my opinion, because this is likely to be just an ad hoc berth really. Let's see what she's like to drive. This is what it's all about though on the Axopar 45. It's actually quite good conditions to demonstrate just what this boat's all about. It's not super rough, there's a bit of a chop, but it's the way that it just hoovers these type of conditions up that's what makes it such a successful boat for this type of environment, where you want to travel quickly with lots of people on board but comfortably, usually at a sunny destination, to an island or to a beach or back to harbour, and it's just so comfortable and refined at these speeds. We are doing 25 knots, 4.5 litres per nautical mile. Remember, triple 300 horsepower Mercuries out back. At 25 knots, it just feels like it's barely even moving. But this is where it wants to be. This is what it's designed for, 25 to 30 knots cruise, and just absolutely demolishing the sea state. It's truly wonderful. The thing about the 45 though, it's a bigger boat of course than the 37, but it still has that really nice edge when it comes to the handling. The steering is relatively heavy. It's not really light through the hands. You can't really fling the wheel from side to side, but when you do dial in a bit of lock, you've got triple engines, all those props chewing into the water. It really does grip on nicely. It's an absolute pleasure to drive. It's not quite as sharp as the 37 or the 28 of course, but that extra hull length just gives you real prowess when it comes to going through the chop. It doesn't get caught out in the troughs as much of course, and in a following swell, that's when it's really happy. And as with every Axopar, what's really pleasant about the driving experience is the setup of the helm. I'm leaning here because you've got these nice high leaning posts where they bolster, so you can set this really nice position where you're tucked in, you're secure, you've got a great view forward. I'm looking just under the windscreen. The wheel comes nice and proud from the dash, but the throttles are also close by, so if you're really working through a big sea, you can be in very good control and not have to lean forward. 2 MFDs and then a smaller one down here, but you can run everything through all of them, so you can mix charting, you can mix your data, you can mix cameras, you can have it presented however you want. And of course it's all nice and dark, so there's no glare. It's really fit for purpose, it looks really classy, and it just really becomes a part of the fantastic driving experience. You've got the multi-function steering wheel. This boat's in the Brabus trim. That's different to a Brabus version. There are Brabus versions of Axopars, and then there's trims. And this has just got the trim, but you've got the nice leather trim and all the Brabus detailing. You've also got multi-function, so I've got stereo control. I've also got bow thruster here, and it's all right under your thumbs. And you've got the fixed boss as well, so only the outside of the steering wheel moves. Works really nicely. Well, what to make of the 45 Sport Top then? It was a very brief taster, but it's no surprise that with this much space to play with, the clever bods at Axopar have done great things with this deck space. It really does work so well on this scale, and you have that great mix of serving space, dining space and sunbathing space that you can't quite squeeze onto a 37. All of that goes here. All of this space works really well, and personally my favourite version of the 37 is the Suntop, and I think that's probably going to be the same deal with the 45. Thanks very much for watching that review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a like if you did. If you want to watch more of our sea trials, you can click on this box up here, and if you would like to subscribe, click here. Thanks again.